In the part one of risk parity portfolio, we discussed the concept of marginal risk contribution, right? And then we got to know how do we, contribute how do we find how much risk is contributed by any asset I in the portfolio, right? So let us just, see the expression of MCR again. So basically, MCR of any asset I is nothing but weight of asset I into its variance plus summation for all j not equal to I wj, and then covariance of I and j divided by portfolio risk, right? So sigma 1 is nothing but the portfolio risk. Okay, so uh, let us just try to see, if there are three assets in the portfolio, then how do we write MCR of asset 2? Okay, so if we have three asset in the portfolio, so how do we write MCR of asset 2? So just for an example, okay, so since we are discussing the MCR of asset 2, so I in this case will be 2, right? So here in this case we'll be writing W2 into sigma 2 square. Then there will be a plus sign, and then this thing. So basically J will be from 1 to 3, right? J will be 1, 2 and 3, because there are three assets in the portfolio. But J cannot be equal to I. So in this case I is our 2, I is 2, so J cannot be 2. So in this case J will be 1 and 3. So basically we have to write this for all J. So basically we have to sum up it for J equal to 1 and J equal to 3. So writing it for J equal to 1, this will be W1, and then Ij, so it will be 2 1, right? Similarly we have to write it for asset 3, so it will be W3 2 3, right? And then, so this is the marginal risk contribution of asset 2. That's it. Okay, so this is how we calculate. Now if you have to find how much risk is contributed by asset 2 in the portfolio, then you would nothing but, so how much risk is contributed by asset 2. So what will you do? You will do nothing but, it will be weight of asset 2 into marginal risk contribution of asset 2. So here it will be marginal risk contribution, so it will be MRC. Okay, got it? Okay, so let us discuss few examples. Okay, so example 1. So we'll be taking a two asset case. We'll be taking a two asset case, and our purpose is to find the weight W1 and W2 such that we achieve a risk parity portfolio, such that the risk contributed by all the assets in the portfolio will be same. So let us just calculate the risk contributed by the first asset. Okay, risk contributed by the first asset. How much risk is contributed by the asset 1? Okay, so for that we need to calculate MRC first, right? MRC of asset 1. What will be MRC of asset 1? It will, so we know MRC as W1I into sigma I square plus summation for all j not equal to I Wj sigma Ij divided by portfolio risk, right? So MRC of asset 1 will be nothing but, our I in this case is 1, so basically W1 sigma 1 square plus, in this case there are 2j, basically 1 and 2, but we cannot write j equal to 1, right? Because j will be equal to I in this case, so we have to write for j equal to 2. So it will be W2 sigma I is 1, so 1 2 divided by this one, right? Now what will be the risk contributed by asset 1? So risk contributed by asset 1 will be nothing but W1 into MRC of 1, right? So it will be nothing but, so we have to multiply by W1, so it will be W1 square sigma 1 square plus W1 W2 sigma 1 2 divided by, right? And then similarly you can try to find out what is the risk contributed by asset 2, and you will get to know that the risk contributed by asset 2 will be W2 square sigma 2 square plus W1 W2 sigma 2 1, but sigma 2 1 and sigma 1 2 is same. Okay, now how do we achieve risk parity portfolio? Risk parity portfolio is nothing but when you get equal risk by all the asset. So basically when the risk contributed by asset 1 is equal to the risk contributed by asset 2, that is this expression, just a minute, that is this expression and this expression should be equal. So if we try to equate this expression, then this term will be cut, sorry, removed, and then this term will be out. So we cannot cut like this, but I hope you understand the intuition behind it. So what do we get? W1 square sigma 1 square plus W2 square sigma 2 square. Now you know there are only two assets, right? So basically W1 plus W2 should be 1. Why? Because sum of all fractions should be equal to 1, right? So basically then W1 square sigma 1 square will be 1 minus W2 is 1 minus W1 square sigma 2 square. Okay. From here, your task is to find what will be the expression for W1. And then I hope you can find what will be W1 from here, because you have one equation and there is only one variable. From here, you can find weight W1. The weight W1 will be 1 by sigma 1. So I am writing the result over here. And 1 by sigma 1 plus 1 by sigma 2. Similarly, weight W2 will be 1 by sigma 2 divided by 1 by sigma 1 plus 1 by sigma 2. Now, so we have got the weight and that is your answer. So basically if you use this weight in your portfolio, so if you assign this weight to asset 1 and this weight to asset 2, basically the risk contributed by asset 1 in the portfolio will be equal to the risk contributed by the asset 2 in the portfolio, and then you get a risk parity portfolio. Got it? Now let's take one more example. So now we are discussing general case. General case in the sense we have basically uh, n number of assets, right? But in this case we are making one assumption. What is our assumption? So we are making an assumption that all assets have equal correlation. Okay, so all assets have equal correlation. Now how do we define correlation? Basically when you write the covariance for asset I and j, okay, so this is equal to correlation of asset I and j into a standard deviation of asset I into a standard deviation of asset j. Now we are assuming that this term is constant for all combination of I and j. Basically this term is constant, so this term is rho. Okay, so this is our assumption. Okay, so this is our assumption, and with this assumption we are moving forward. Okay, so uh, in this case, so this is our assumption. So let us just write, we have n number of asset, right? So let us just write risk contribution of asset I in this case. What is the risk contribution of any asset I? This will be weight of asset I into marginal risk contribution of asset I. What is marginal risk contribution of asset I? This will be omega I sigma I square plus, for all j not equal to I, omega j, right, by the portfolio risk, right? Got it? And then this will be equal to omega I square sigma I square plus, for all j not equal to I, omega j by, right? Now once you try to do it, so basically let us just try to see it like this. So basically this term is nothing but, let us just write it here again, omega I omega j. This term will be equal to rho, so rho is constant, will be taken outside, sigma I sigma j, right? This is a covariance term that I have written here. So covariance term is nothing but correlation term into the standard deviation of asset I into a standard deviation of asset j. Okay, and then this is the risk term. Okay, now this is for all j not equal to I, right? So let us just try to manipulate it a bit. So basically we will be writing it for all j, so it will include that j as well for which j equal to I. Okay, so this will be equal to omega I omega j sigma j. Now we have included all j, right? So we have to subtract that j for which j is equal to I. So we have to subtract j equal to I case, right? So basically j equal to I case we have to subtract. So we are subtracting that case because this will include now all j. So this should so we shouldn't have include this thing, right? We shouldn't have include all j. So now once we have included, we have to subtract the extra term that we are adding, and then okay, and then if you try to see this term, basically this term would be rho for all j wj sigma j, right? And then it would be nothing but minus rho omega I square sigma I square, right? This term have something in common, so basically we can write 1 minus rho omega I square sigma I square, okay, for all j. Now we can see that basically we have one thing common, so basically we have omega I sigma I common, okay. So we can take this term outside, and then we will be left with this term plus basically rho for all j omega j sigma j. So this is the marginal risk contribution by asset I. Okay. So this is nothing but marginal risk contribution by asset I. Okay. Now what will be the marginal risk contribution by asset? Any asset P. So it will be same, right? So now once we have to equate the risk contribution by any asset I and risk contribution by any asset J. Okay. So if you try to equate it, you will be getting the expression Wi sigma I is equal to Wj sigma J. Okay, got it? So basically, this is the expression that you will be getting, and when you solve this, you will be getting that you would be achieving a risk parity portfolio when. So basically, this is the risk contribution by any asset I. Now you try out finding what is the risk contribution by any asset J. Okay, and try to equate both the term. When you try to equate, you will get this term. Okay, so this would be, and so that is why from here you can find out Wi, and it would be nothing but 1 by sigma I into summation for all j from I to from 1 to n 1 by sigma j. Okay, so this is the weight of I asset I. So that is why how you can write the weight of asset 1 2 3 4 to weight of asset n. Okay, so this is the weight of a risk parity portfolio in case where all the assets having same correlation. Okay, if you don't understand in how it is being derived, I give you a task. Basically you try to derive it for three asset case. So basically take three assets in your portfolio, assume that they have the same correlation, and try to find out this expression. You will be getting this expression for any weight. Okay, so that is the this is the second case, right? Now we are taking the third example when basically all the assets are having. So basically we have n asset. Okay, we have n asset, and all the assets are having same basically variance. Okay, same variance in the case case all sigma I are equal basically. So variance of asset, so a standard deviation of asset 1 equal to a standard deviation of asset 2. So all the standard deviation, basically all the variances are equal. So this is the assumption. Okay, now under this assumption, what is the weight that you are getting? So under this assumption, the weight that you are getting is, so you will not be able to derive it because it is computationally extensive, but I'm just writing the expression here. So this is the expression. Okay, so this is the expression of weight I in that case. Okay, now you can see it that basically in the expression of Wi. Okay, so in the expression of weight of asset I, the weight of asset I term will be appearing here also. So basically in the expression of Wi itself is appearing. So this is a case of endogeneity. Okay, this is a case of endogeneity. What does endogeneity imply? Endogeneity basically means that uh, so it is a situation where a variable is both influenced by and influence other variable in the system. So basically you can see that w is wi is a variable, the value of which you have to find. But if for that, in the expression for wi you will find wi itself. So how will you find wi? So this is a case of endogeneity, and hence you will not be able to find the solution like this. Okay, so you won't be able to find the solution analytically because wi itself appears in the expression. Okay, so how do we do it? Basically we have to use numerical optimization technique to find weight I. So see, this is a case when variances of all the assets are equal. Now think about that case in which neither correlation nor variance nor any other terms are equal. So basically a general case. So in a general case, this term would be more difficult for you to find out. So that is why in a general case we use a numerical optimization technique to solve for the weight I. So weight I of all the assets. So basically you use numerical optimization technique to find out the weight matrix. So what is the weight of asset 1, what is the weight of asset 2, and that is basically our project. So in the next part we'll be defining the project. Okay, we'll be defining the numerical optimization problem, we'll be defining what are the constraints. Okay, so by now I hope you understand the various things, and I suggest you derive 2 to 3 parts that I have shown in the lecture. The first thing is derive the marginal formula for marginal risk contribution, taking 2 or 3 asset. Basically take 2 asset and try to find out what is the marginal risk contribution of any uh, try to find out the formula for marginal risk contribution. Okay, so from a scratch. Now we have seen the risk parity case of asset 2 asset case, right? In that case, so basically here, so just a minute, this case, right? So basically just a minute, I'm showing it. So from here try to find out W1 and W2. And another thing is try to find out from here try to find out the weight I. Okay, so in this case assume 3. So in this case you try to assume 3 assets, basically n equal to 3, and try to find out what will be the weight matrix in this case, and then you will be able to understand this. You will be understanding that the risk contribution will be equal when weight of any asset and the standard deviation of that assets are equal for all the assets. Okay, so this is the case for n equal to n greater than 2. Okay, so that is it for the today's lecture. I hope you had a great understanding. If you do have any doubt, you can just write it in the comment. Okay, and I will be helping you out. Okay, thanks a lot.